So what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to show you these are really manky because it's a terrible time of year and they've suffered my neglect. Who can tell what this specimen here is? It's cooch. Okay. It's really not very well kept at the moment. Cooch, who's familiar with cooching, getting into a garden bed? Very invasive, isn't it? If it gets into a garden bed amongst plants, how do you get it out?
Kill it, spray.
You kill the plants too?
Yeah. Oh, you get a certain type though, can't you? That kills just that grass?
No. You've got to dig it out. It's really invasive. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful turf type. Okay, you see it on golf courses, Santa Ana. You see it cut really low on residential properties. It's beautiful. For probably 9-10 months of the year, it's a beautiful colour. Winter it goes brown, it looks dead, but comes back in the blink of an eye. Beautiful turf type, some people love it. Kikuyu. Golly, these are so messy. Yeah, that's my kike. Kike, most common grass in Australia. It's everywhere. Everyone familiar with kike? Okay. Is it invasive? Kikuya. U-Y-U. Kikuyu. There's a section in there. Yep. Now, kike is, again, an invasive grass. Who's seen it on a power pole coming up through the metal brackets? It's kike. It goes down probably 400 mil and it'll run underground as well. So it gets into garden beds, got long runners, so it goes deep and long. It is so invasive and tough. However, again, don't get me wrong, it's a tough turf type. There's a lot of it around and we do a lot of maintenance on it. We mow a lot of these. My favourite turf type, this is a soft-leaf buffalo. This one is actually Sir Walter, which I think is the best of the soft-leaf buffaloes. Keeps colour all year round. It's very sun tolerant too. Sorry, shade tolerant. Yeah, it probably only needs about 30 to 40% sunlight. It's self-repairing. It's drought resistant. It's tough.
I've got it. It grows better in the shade than it does in the sunlight.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting? Now, it's important. I'll come back to this a little bit later, but it's important we understand the differences here. So let's talk about, I'll just put up here, we must have one of these that actually works properly.
The red one works the best.
The red one, thank you. Okay. Kikuyu, cooch, and buffaloes. Now, I'm going to talk about these briefly. With the buffaloes, we've got Sir Walter, Palmetto, King's Pride.
You can spot the differentiations just as you approach them all.
No. These to me are just soft leaf buffaloes. I can't tell them apart. But there are subtle differences. And the most recent one is Sir Grange. I can, however, and this is important, you need to know what that looks like and how to manage it. What that looks like and how to manage it. Particularly what these look like and how to manage these. We'll come back to this later, but these we really do need to be able to identify them as just soft leaf buffalo. You don't have to identify each one. Okay, let's move along. What do we do with lawn? Elaborate?
Oh, yeah. You limit it if it's going to be invasive, you're cutting it back, shaping it.
I'm going to leave, I'll pick that up in here. How about we go with a very general heading, and we can delve into that. What else do we do with lawn? Okay, well, I've picked that up in here, herbiciding it. That's weeding. Fertilising is feeding.
You planted for the first time?
Beauty, thank you. We lay or we seed. And we're going to put a bit of emphasis into that one to make sure we get it right, aren't we, Aaron? I'm dealing with another one, similar. Okay, I'm going to call it detaching. Now, dethatch will do. Sorry, I heard something else. Irrigate. I'll leave that up here. Thank you to whoever picked up dethatch. Good pickup. That's pretty good, isn't it? If you want to add to it later, we'll do that. Let's go through this. We're going to spend a bit of time on this because very soon you'll be out there with your new business, and from day one, with spring coming, you're going to be doing a lot of mowing. That's a given, okay? Who knows how to mow a lawn like a professional? Aaron, you're on the spot, mate. Aaron's going to step us through it.
I like to think it's a professional job.
Yep, I got it. Yep, tell me, how do we do it?
With love and care.
That's the answer. No, do you want to elaborate on how to?
Yeah, I just take pride in its appearance.
Appearance is critical, absolutely.
Sharp blades, fine and often.
Yeah, that's good. That comes up tomorrow, and you're spot on. And that's something that hasn't come up in here. I like that. Starting with your equipment being in good order is a great start. And we'll come back to that when we talk about herbiciding as well, because the main reason that a lot of lawns get weeds in them is because of mowers, dirty mowers. Here we go. Okay, let's put a little sub-list over here. So we've got clean and sharp blades. It's more clean chassis and sharp blades. Height, we're going to talk about height because that's really important. We're going to talk about frequency because that's really important. Anything else that comes up? We're going to talk about catch versus mulch. Anything else we want to talk about, we'll park there. But we're going to mow the lawn first. First thing we're going to do, we're going to assume we've done our WH&S, so we've looked around for obstacles, haven't we? Kids' toys, dog bombs, that sort of thing. So in here we might have child's play equipment, a swing, we might have a tree there, we might have a tree there. So one, we're going to brush cut. I'll go with trim, less writing. And we know how to do that. Okay. So when I'm trimming, I'm going to do my sharp edges, or if there's a raised border, I'm going to do it to the top of the border. Around here, I'm going to brush cut around there, and around the base of my trees. Okay? So now I'm in a position to, we're going to mow. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to start here. We just got told we're going to go around the perimeter. So, got to go around the perimeter. Now, we have different size configurations for our mowing decks, don't we? We might have a 32 right on, a 38 right on, and so on and so forth, okay? This process applies regardless of the deck size. Here I'm using Trish's self-propelled, 21 inch, 21 inches all the way around. I've done it once, what am I going to do? I'm going to do it again. And I'm not drawing that very well. But it's 21, 21, 21, 21.
So there's no overlap.
No. No. Having done that, what have I done? Give myself room to turn. Here's the example. Garden, rose bushes. Okay, so I've gone around twice. Once, twice. I'm now able to get to here, turn around, plenty of room. I've got a little headland. So I've given myself a little area to turn in. Having done that, what do I do now? Up and down. Okay, down we come, down we come. I might go around, and I might go, okay. And you know what, good point. If it's a really, okay, let's just, if this is just a rough old, let's call it just a tenanted property, it's a rental and it's a rough old rental, I'm going to go the longest direction every time because I've got less turns. If I've got a really good quality lawn here, you know what, I'm going to alternate. 1 week, next week, that sort of thing. Why am I doing that? Ruts and blade direction.
You wouldn't just go around people just decreasing the soil?
No, really inefficient. You think about the last ones, you know. No, this is that going north, if you like, north-south. That's the most efficient because we've got less turns. Now we've got 21 every time, every line we make, every run we make. Why are we doing that? 2 reasons. Correct. The final look, if you stand back, so imagine you've got dew on the grass and you do your mow and it's beautiful, 21s. You stand back and you look at it and you see these beautiful straight lines. And you look at it and you admire it. What do you reckon your customer thinks when they see it? The other thing is efficiency. If you've got a 16 inch, 14 inch, 21 inch, 16 inch, the end of that job, you might have done 1 extra run. The end of a day, you might have done 6 extra runs. The end of the week. You get the idea? There's an efficiency, and we need to be efficient. Everyone happy with that? That's 21. Now, how do I know so back to you in a moment, Charles. So, how do I know I've got my 21, 21, 21? So, along I go. Left wheel, right wheel. Come to the end. Right wheel is in the left wheel track. Okay?
Yep.
Got that?
Sometimes it can be very hard to tell though if the lawn is,
Can be.
it's not already,
Can be.
pretty well cut as
Yep.
well done that deal.
Look, you won't be able to necessarily get this 100%. If you can get it 98%, 90%, fantastic. Where it's obvious, where you've got one height that was and the height you're mowing to, really obvious. If you've got dew, most times it's pretty obvious. Occasionally it won't be. Don't be too concerned by it. Use your eyes, you know, just try to work it out the best you can. Line up something if you want at the back. Yeah. Oh, that's Mo. That's Mo. And thank you. Then we'll give it a good blow.
Because I've been told that, like, sometimes you blow, like if you've done the trimming,
Yep.
you blow what excess onto the lawn continually.
Spot on. Thanks, Aaron. If I've got a really good property that I'm looking after, or maybe there's a lot of leaves in the driveway or the footpaths, I'm going to do my edging, my brush cutting, then I'm going to get my blower out and I'm going to blow all of those leaves onto the grass. And then I'm going to suck it up with my big red 21-inch deck vacuum cleaner. So that would be a trim, mow, a blow, mow, blow. Or as the real estate agents call it, a mow, blow, go. So, yeah, so depending on the quality and what your customer expects, that's what you'll deliver. Everyone happy with that? You're all expert lawn mowers? Let's talk about something else then. Heights. Why are heights important? Mowing heights. Yeah, thank you. If you take more than 1/3 off the leaf matter, so more than 1/3, that grass is under stress. And the further down you go, the more stress it'll be. If you do that at the wrong time of year to the wrong turf type, you'll just about kill it. For example, a soft leaf buffalo. If you go in and go really low, scalp almost, you've pretty much killed it. It's not going to come back for a long time, if at all.
Thinking about some of those rental cleanups, when the renters are lifted knee high. No, sorry, I've only take
Oh, God. What I'm dealing with at the moment, one of my guys, he laid a turf. 3 months later, the customer said, and the customer didn't want him to maintain it regularly. It was a Sir Walter buffalo. 3 months later, this guy's called my guy and said, come and mow it. He's got round there, it hadn't been mowed for 3 months. The guy said, you said you were going to, not my responsibility, up to here. The guy said, mow it. The guy said, I'll stress it. He went ahead, he had to. The guy wanted it done. Mowed it, what happened? Big bare patches. Then he's complained about it. So, as a general rule, no more than 1/3, as a general rule. In spring, you'll get that complaint all the time. You mowed it, but it grew back. Yeah. Look, you've got to take some responsibility for the dialogue with your customer. You have to talk about, if it's the first time it's being mowed and it hasn't been mowed for a long time, it might be very high. So you talk about the risks associated with it. If it's good turf type, you might have to bring it down gradually. Yeah, no surprises. I don't like surprises. So talk to your customer.
In that instance, if it is this high, and say bring it down gradually, would you then almost put your mower on as high as 7?
Oh, yeah.
Go across and explain that before you go. So this is what I'm going to do. And the best thing would be come back in a fortnight or a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
That time to recover
Yeah.
and scale a bit lower again.
Yeah, particularly important with the soft leaf buffaloes. The kikes and the cooches, don't be so concerned. In springtime, coming into spring, if you had to take more than 1/3 of the leaf off now, I wouldn't worry about it because it's going to recover pretty quickly. But if you were to do that at the start of summer or the start of winter, it's really going to stress it, big time. Anyway, there are exceptional circumstances. As a general rule, we have regular customers and we mow their lawns regularly. So we mow to the appropriate height of the grass. So with the soft leaf buffaloes, they are mowed quite high. Okay? Could be on a setting of 8. Your cooches generally are mowed very low. Some customers like them higher. That's fine. You've got to have that discussion. Your common old kikes really doesn't matter. Most people, knock them down on 4 and that's fine. Not that important. But heights are important. When you buy an existing business or a split, what you are inheriting, you are buying an established schedule and an established mowing height. The expectation's already there. You're just fulfilling the expectation. When you get a new customer, you have to have this discussion with your customer about the frequency of your service, and you have to guide that. You need to see me more in spring and summer because it's going to grow. You'll see less of me in winter. Might see less of me in summer. But leave that with me. I'll make the decisions for you. You can, I'll let you know in advance when you're going to see me more often. And you build that trust with your customer. They need to be able to trust you that you're not going to mow it when it doesn't need mowing, and that you will be there to mow it when it does need mowing. So it's a discussion you have with your customer. Along with price and your expectation of being paid on time, important part of that discussion. And another important part of that discussion, we'll move into catching versus mulching. We know what catching is all about, don't we? What do we do with the clippings that we catch? Green bins, fantastic. Who's going to do that? Who's going to have that discussion with their customer before they do that? Absolutely. No surprises. Never use a green bin without asking first. What else might you do with the clippings rather than use a green bin? Mulching, take them to the tip. Yep. Remember, it's a cost to your business if you have to take it to the tip, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And so you want to have that discussion at the front end. Would it be okay if I use your green bin?
The green bin is something that people have at their houses all the time.
Most people do. Most councils,
We don't have it.
no, not every. Some councils enable people, ratepayers, to hire or buy a green bin. Anyway, yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right, well, that's catching. So we've caught it, and we're disposing of it somehow. So if you're taking it away, that's got to be factored into your cost. Your other option, apart from catching, would be to, why would we mulch it? Let me address that one first. Good for the lawn. How many people have heard that? You know how true that is? Just a little bit above a donut. That there's almost no nutritional value. Compared to a commercial lawn food, there's almost nothing in it. So you can almost eliminate that from the discussion. What else? Any other benefits? Okay, whose benefit is that? Okay, what's in that for the customer? So a customer comes home, walks out to feed the dog, clippings over the feet, walks back inside on the carpet. Yeah, he probably just lost a job there.
But it is cheaper for them.
It's cheaper for them. So would you have that discussion with your customer? Absolutely. And some people will be happy for it. Most people, I would suggest, with good properties, good lawns, good gardens, would not want that. Rental properties, not a problem.
In the overall scheme of things, it's not cheaper to mulch. I don't believe. I've always called grass. And it gives us such a better job and you pick up so much more work to do. So you're going to be going to tip all the time anyway with garden waste and cleanups. There's costed into that.
I have never mulched in 19 years. I catch everything. You'll never get a complaint. The options are yours, though. These are genuine options. So for you to think about and discuss with your customer. My perspective, like Aaron's, is I always go for a quality finish. I like to catch. And if you factor it into your price, it's fine.
I've always mulched my own house because I was actually told by a guy that done horticulture that, because I'm on sand, and so he said you can get some nutrition back in. That's the only reason.
Okay, let's have a look at, because it's timely to do this, does everyone know what dethatching is? Yeah. Just above the ground, over time, a lawn will build up dead and rotting debris. Okay, and things like runners like this. It's a thatch. It builds up and builds up and builds up. It's not a good thing. It's not a healthy thing. It's a zone where diseases and funguses will thrive. So, in order to recover a lawn like that, we have to dethatch it. And we'll talk about dethatching in a little bit more detail later. One of the main causes of thatching is mulching. Yeah, repeated mulching, you get this build-up of layers, so you're building a zone where nasties are going to love to live.
So mulching is the term you use for just leaving all the cuttings all over the
Mulch mowing. You can buy a dedicated mulch mower, which will just mulch, so it's got no You've got to
So my mower has a catcher and you can also
put the plug in.
house mower.
So you don't see it as much.
Yeah. Dedicated mulching mowers will actually throw the clippings around and shred and shred and shred and throw it down that finely. It looks like it's almost disappeared. 3-in-1 mowers where you can catch, throw, or mulch. It's generally you put a mulching plug in the chute, and it just throws it around and throws it in the ground. And they don't do a particularly good job, But yeah, not something I recommend. But the decision's yours, and in discussion with your customer, you'll come up with what's the best idea, which in my view is always catching.
If you mulch a lawn that's got a couple of weeds, you end up with 1,000 weeds because it just spreads it all around.
There is that as well. Do everyone get that? If you mulch a lawn that's got some weeds in it, and if it's that time of year where you've got weed seeds, it's all over the place. As I said before, our profession, lawn mowers in general are responsible for introducing so many weeds into lawns. Weeds get there by wind, through animals, fur, but mostly from mowers that aren't cleaned. Theoretically, we're meant to clean the deck under the chassis of the mower after every mow. We're never going to do that because it's not economically viable, but that's what we should do. So you imagine the build-up you get over there. Over time, you get a bit of moisture. The moisture collects the dust, collects the weed seeds. It gets drier, and they drop off as you work. You could do that. Yep. I only do my ours probably every fortnight. Yeah. And look, they've got little plugs on the top of the mower. You can shove your hose in there and run it at revs, and that'll wash it, or you can turn it over and just give it a good old squirt with your hose, or if it's dry, you can chip it off with something. Anyway, let's not get off track there. So we know how to mow. Everyone's happy? The blowing parts. I'll give you a couple of the whipping. I said before I can whip fast, and whipping should take you about 5% of your time. The blowing at the end when you're finishing should take about 5% of your time. The customer interaction, if they're home, should take about 5% of your time. The rest of it's mowing. If you've got an employee, they'll gravitate towards the blower, and it'll take them ages because everyone loves a blower. Looks great when you're finished, and it's just so easy, oh geez, it's nice, what a great job I'm doing. Don't let your employee have the blower. It's, yeah. Righto.
You showed us how to do the north-south mode.
Yep.
You mentioned the east-west. What was the point of that again?
Two reasons. The blade, if you're continually mowing the grass one direction, the blade's always going to go that direction. Swapping it around, you get the blades going different ways, which is...
So you go there in April and you do north to south, and then you go there in, sort of June, you do it east to west, do you?
Yeah. With my good quality lawns, I vary it every time I go there. The other thing is the furrows that you get. In winter, in particular, when, like now, the lawn's a little bit squelchy, so you run, a 40 or a 60 kilogram mower over it, it's going to sink. If you do that repeatedly through winter, you've got deep furrows. So give it a rest. You don't want to compact it. Okay. Let's have a look at. We know how to motor. Let's go here, fertilise. Why do we fertilise lawns? Okay, it's a living organism like us. Needs water, needs food. What do we feed it with? Not lawn clippings. Fertiliser. Okay. A range of fertilisers on the market. Heaps out there. What do we look for in a good quality fertiliser?
Nitrates.
Okay, let's nitrogen. Potassium. Nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. Now, when you buy a bag of slow-release fertiliser, lawn fertiliser, you'll often see ratios something like that, maybe. Familiar with that? It's actually NPK. Your phosphorus is there, plus trace elements, of which there are numerous, and they are very important. The nitrogen is the big hitter for growth, and colour for that matter. We're not that interested in, these are important to an extent, but it's not the be-all and end-all. You're not looking for something with the highest NPK. What we're really looking for is a good quality product. There's a lot of products on the market. Some of them are fantastic. Most of them are really good, in fact. There's one product we recommend to you, and I've got some handouts for you a little bit later on. Who's heard of a company called Simplot Partners? Yeah, big global company. I think they're headquartered in America. And I think most capital cities in Australia have got a branch. And this is where I would encourage you to have a look at what they have on offer for us in our world to buy. But there's a couple of products I'm going to recommend too that I think you should buy there because they're a great quality product and they're a great price. And it's in your folders. Simplot Partners, Turf Gold. Okay, there's a product they've got called Turf Gold, which for us I think is the bee's knees. Great quality product, great price. When you buy products like this, bulk buy, 20 litre containers, you'll use a lot of it.
Can I just, is there anything you're about to say about this which is specific to Victoria, like cooler climates, warmer climates? It's all the same? Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for that, Charles. I'll just say that what I talk about in this training day is pretty much mostly relevant generally. Some of it is specific to my knowledge of Melbourne and our region. But if there's anything specific, I'll let you know. But generally speaking,
Where can you get that?
Simplot Partners, if you Google Simplot Partners, they'll deliver pretty much anywhere at a cost. If you Google Simplot Partners Brisbane, for example, you'll find them.
Right, so it's not available at Bunbury?
No, you cannot buy Turf Gold, to my knowledge, any outlets other than... Anyway, what page is that on? First, okay. Okay, so fertilisers. They're a slow release fertiliser. They're in granular form. How do we apply them? Spreader, thank you. I'll give you a story. Some people think they know how to fertilise. I go and buy a product, doesn't matter what product they buy, and they're saving money. They're not going to get you to do it, they're going to do it themselves because they know it needs to be fed. So they've got their bag of fertiliser and they get out in the backyard and they feed the chooks. Okay? You know what it's like, how to do that? You know, feed the chooks, throw your fertiliser around. So big clump. Yeah, that's what you need. So you got a clump there, you got none there, you got a clump there. You arrive to mow the lawn 2 weeks later. What do you see? Dead patches. Why is it dead? Too much and not watered in. So, little dog. It's true. So, we do a couple of things. We read the instructions on the packet, and the packet tells us the correct application rate. So we've got to work out the area, and then we've got to work out how much product we're going to use. So we've done the calculation, and we've got a spreader. Maybe you can buy big ones, big push ones for ovals. Most of us have just got handheld spreaders, which have got you can regulate the flow of it through a little switch at the back. So we fill it up, we put 1 kilogram of product in there. Now we're going to have to calibrate ourselves. The spreader will probably go 2 metres that way, 2 metres that way, 2 metres in front. So I'm going to start, edge of the lawn's over there, here I go. Okay, I'm same pace. I'm calibrating my pace. So now I've done that run, I'll come over here, and I'm going to come across so that there's no overlap. Okay, 2 metres that way, 2 metres there, 2 metres there, and that 2 metres is going to abut. And back I come. Correct rate of application again, calibrating my speed. When I finish that lawn, I should have nothing left. You know what the difficult part about all that was? Reading the instructions, because we're blokes and we don't like to read instructions. True. Now, here's something that is often forgotten. You've got to water it in. Doesn't mean you have to water it in heavily, but just a light sprinkle will be fine for now. And maybe you charge your customer with watering in heavily later in the day. It must be watered in. A lot of these products will burn. They will burn. Even though you've applied it lightly and correctly, the potential's still there for burn. Give it a quick water. Now, does a customer know that their lawn needs to be fertilised? Okay. No. So, don't expect that your regular customers will say to you, oh, could you fertilise my lawn next week because it needs it? We need to know when it needs to be fertilised, and we need to, out of care for our customer's lawn, advise them that the correct thing to do coming into spring, it's going to need a lawn fertilise to kick it on and prepare it, get it ready for Christmas, summer. So we have to be a little proactive with our interactions with our customers. Don't assume that they know. They've got a nice yard, they've got a nice garden, the lawn looks a bit sad this time of year, doesn't it? Winter looks a bit sad. So difficult for you guys, you haven't got the rapport with your customers yet. You might be able to have that chat, I don't know, but I'll leave it with you to work it out. Mr. Smith, your lawn's looking a bit tired after winter. I can bring that back for you and have it looking great by Christmas. It needs a feed. And it needs a proper quality lawn food applied at the correct rate of application. And I'll guarantee you, within a month, it'll look fantastic. And it will. These products are marvellous. But don't assume that your customer's going to ask you. They won't. Most of them won't. So if you raise this out of genuine concern for your customer's lawn, in fact, anything that you raise with your customer, if you do it out of genuine concern, do you think they'll know that? They will. It's how you do it. It's got to be conversational and it's got to be out of care and it's got to be genuine. If you raise it as something like, how about for $60 I fertilise your lawn, what's it look like? Money grab. Money grab. It ain't that difficult. If you really think I can do something good here to make that better for you, it'll come through.
So at the end of winter you hit them up with fertiliser?
You would suggest that you can improve their lawn a lot by fertiliser coming into spring, early spring. And then you'd probably do it again before summer to strengthen it up. And you'd probably do it again before spring to get it ready for winter. So probably 3 times a year, give it a fertilise.
It's something that you mentioned that you would say to the client coming out of winter.
Yeah, look, the example might be Mrs. Smith. We're coming out of winter, the lawn looks pretty terrible. I can make it look I can really green it up and make it healthy and lush again for you before Christmas, before summer. You know, what I would like to do is to apply a really good quality lawn fertiliser, and I guarantee it'll look fantastic for you, and it will.
So if you got a client, say they've just bought the house and they want a nice lawn, hadn't been kept so great previously by the previous owners, so there's a lot of weeds and that sort of stuff through. Are you better off, and they're asking for your advice, are we better off to more go down the path of they're better off to deal with the weeds first before they start fertilising the lawn and getting that under control before they start?
Yep.
Because the fertiliser is only going to boost the weeds as well.
Correct. Often these, let's deal with that. Thank you for introducing that. That's brilliant. Weed and feed. There's a product on the market. There's products called weed and feed. Are they any good?
No.
They're crap. Thank you. Beautiful, Peter. You pass. Weed and feed. Fertilising and herbiciding are 2 different processes requiring 2 different professional products. The industry, the manufacturers have realised that, hey, there's a huge domestic market out there, let's give them one product with a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it's a crap product. Okay, it's diluted, it's not worth anything. You connect them to a hose and you stand there and you hose them in, and you have a Chardonnay while you're doing it, and you're not doing anything except watering the lawn. They are terrible products. It is 2 professional processes. Yeah, go.
What about a liquid fertiliser? Like
Yeah.
there are fertilisers that clip on the same way. Are there any which are close to?
No. Any one of those products, they're for the domestic market, any of those clip-on products, they're diluted products. Yeah. But their margin, for how much, the quantity of product that they have in all that water, their margins are enormous. we're buying concentrate products that we're diluting with water that cost a fraction of that and are applied at the correct rate of application. Now, back to that, Peter, 2 processes. They are often can be done almost concurrently, and often should be done almost concurrently. When weeds are growing, that's the time to knock them on the head with a herbicide. It's also the time to get the grass going. So let's not get too confused by this at the moment. Let's just, one at a time. We'll bring it together at the end, I think. Is everyone happy with fertilising? Who's in charge of managing the fertilising regime on your customers' lawns? Okay, good.
There's 2 quick questions. So there's a turf guy near where I live, and I find their fertiliser is really good, and so it works well. So it must be, I suspect, in the same category. Yeah, and so fertiliser fat. Did you say granular or liquid? Doesn't matter.
In my view, slow release granular is far better because it's there for a period of time and it's slow release.
I was going to say, and how often? You said it
3 times a year is my view. In my view, it might only be you might only want to do it. Your customer might only want to do it once. That once, for my mind, is the springtime to get it ready for summer when they've been used for barbecues and guests and people looking at it. You're using your outdoors. You're going to get maximum growth, maximum colour. So at least once a year, up to 3 times a year.
And another quick question, with your customers, do you spread that cost evenly throughout the year, or do you...
No. Thank you, Ray. One application, one cost. What I've got here. Okay, here we go. I've got an area to do. I've read the instructions. I know I know how much product I need. Then I'm going to measure it out. I'm going to put my PPE on, my gloves. Might even put my respirator on, my sleeves. I'm going to apply it with my professional applicator at the correct rate. The cost of that will probably be about the cost of a lawnmower, if not more. Okay, so it's a separate service, chargeable at the time. So it might be $60, even though it might take me 15 minutes. I've used professional product applied professionally.
potentially harmful to myself if I feel about PPE.
Well, you do. And look, you do. You must observe PPE, particularly when we start talking about chemicals. It's really, really important.
So is that whether it's fertilised, herbicide?
Oh yeah. Now, where was I going to go? There was another question, Ray, that you threw in there. Bugger. That'll come back. With fertilising, you can fertilise at any time. Doesn't matter. Herbiciding, very different. Fertilise any time before or after a mow. So, sorry, I'll just collect my thought there around that price. So release water in.
No, I was more thinking, if a customer says, look after my lawn, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Whether you would spread the costs throughout the year.
I wouldn't. I want to be paid. If I'm investing time and a little bit of product, I want to be paid for that service now. Yeah. Okay. If it comes back to me, I'll come to you. Okay, the next obvious one to deal with is herbiciding. Why do we herbicide? What sort of, okay, whole host of weeds, isn't there, that get into lawns. This is where it is absolutely critical that you can identify these, because there are many herbicides on the market that if you buy off the shelf and apply to these lawns, you'll kill them. Okay? I'm going to give you the good oil now. A lot of products have MCPA and dicamba. No, I won't confuse it. I'll leave it at MCPA. If you see a herbicide that has MCPA in it, never, ever, ever apply it to a softleaf buffalo.
To a what?
To a softleaf buffalo. That and that do not go together. Now I'm going to make it simple for you. There's another M for Mary, MCPA. Now I'm going to make it easy for you. There's another product, a herbicide out of Simplot Partners that you can use. This is, and to my knowledge, this is the only herbicide that you can use on all turf types. It's called Spearhead. Not necessarily the best product on the market, but it's the only one that you can use on all lawns without any worry.
I think from the local guys that I went for training and also through Paul, they talk about one called Javelin. Sounds awfully like a spearhead to me, but
It may well be the same active constituents. Javelin. Yeah. Anyway, look, it may well be. I'm no expert here. I just know that this is foolproof for you. You're not going to have a mistake. You're not going to kill a lawn. Hey? Yeah.
That's spearhead.
And you'll get your money back many times over.
So you recommend to buy that while you're learning the different kinds of grass? That's the
Foolproof. Down the track, there's a whole raft of other herbicides, which in my view are better, but you can't use them here. You can use them anywhere else.
But until you learn which grass is which, I've got different spray on it. It's not
Go safe. Go down the safe path. Be safe.
So the other herbicides you just referred to are more for spraying weeds in pavers and things like that.
Yep.
Also they're on the lawn.
Well, yeah, we haven't got, what I'm dealing with at the moment is simply with lawn care herbicides. We're going to talk about other chemicals for other usages under gardening. Yep.
So is Spearhead a brand name?
No, can someone Google Spearhead herbicide for me? And we'll see if we can get a.
you want to know?
Its brand name is Spearhead, and I don't know who makes it. Do you know who makes it, Aaron?
So Simplot don't do a good herbicide. Spearhead do everything.
And it doesn't have MCPA.
No. Simplot have Spearhead. Only use Spearhead. Simple. All lawns.
200 grams per litre. Right up the lot.
It will last, 10 litres will last you a long time. It might cost you a fortune. Buy it if you want to share the cost, decant it, share it between yourselves with your colleagues, whatever. My view is it doesn't go off. I buy 20 litre drums and you use a lot of it. Who's going to be Bayer. It's a Bayer product. Thank you.
I've actually got it in Simplot too.
Beaut. Excellent. Okay, this product, you don't use much of it. I just heard 200 grams per litre. Now, if we do the sums,
No, sorry, that, I was saying what was one of the constituents was it?
oh, right, okay.
Not a...
No, okay. You don't use a lot of this product but for an application, but you will apply it a lot. Who's going to be responsible for telling Mrs. Smith that, hey, your lawn's full of weeds, and lawns get full of weeds very, very quickly? Well, you are. Because they don't know necessarily that you can apply a selective broadleaf herbicide to a lawn to eradicate all weeds.
must be might be a weed issue. So are you applying a spearhead with a backpack and just spraying that weed, or are you
No.
able to spray the whole lawn?
Thank you, Aaron. It's a broadleaf selective herbicide, which means it only selects weeds. So I'm going to measure out. I need, let's say it's applied at 10 mil per litre, and I need 9 litres, so I'm going to put 90 mil in my spray pack. 90 mil, just 90 mil. Fill it up, 9 litres of water. PPE, respirator, gloves, the whole shooting match, overalls. My spray pack, I'm going to apply, it's broad, it's like broad acreage coverage. Put on everything. It's selective. It only selects weeds. So here I go. A metre that way, metre that way, metre that way. Because that's, okay? I'm wetting everything. Not drenching, but I'm wetting everything. I'm calibrating myself. So by the time I'm finished, 9 litres is gone. I've read the instructions again. Not a very blokey thing to do, I know, but I did it.
Does that kill clover?
Yes. Thank you. There's a few weeds. No, they're not weeds, they're grass types that will not kill. Who's heard of paspalum? Okay, what's paspalum? It's a type of grass. So it's not going to kill it, is it? How do you get rid of paspalum? Dig it out. Or there is a highly selective herbicide called, we're really, really creative in our horticultural industry. It's called paspalum killer. Okay. What else might there be? What other grasses? Nutgrass? Onion grass. It is horrible. You've got to dig the...
Someone who's actually dug up the soil and literally like almost,
sieve it out.
no,
Cooked it.
the soil almost and thrown it back.
Yeah.
Like, stuffed it. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
What about your winter and summer grass?
Yeah, thank you. Come back to winter grass. Not too worried about summer grasses. Elephant, I'm not familiar with this one.
rock wall in the backyard and at the top, and every like 3 weeks it's like 4 foot high. Someone's going to come and slash it.
Wow.
Well, they said it was elephant grass or something.
Not familiar with it. Yeah. Not my corner of the world. You wouldn't have a photo. Yeah. Yeah, if you've got a photo, that'd be great. Winter grass. Who's heard of winter grass? Okay, that's a great example actually, because this is a more common form of problem for us. Winter grass, as it suggests, it grows in winter. How do you tell that it's winter grass? Well, here's what it looks like. It's little bright green tufts and little seed heads on the end. It's bright green. You can see it. It stands up taller. You familiar? Okay, we might see some. That's good. We're going to try to go for a walk a little later over to Jim's property just to do a bit of identification and to get some exercise, and so you don't have to listen to me all the time. Winter grass. It is a real problem, and once it takes hold, it'll keep spreading and spreading and spreading. Get seed heads, we mow it, it gets spread more. Drops the seed heads, spreads more. It's a real problem. How do you get rid of it? Dig it out. If it's a small area, don't be afraid. Get down, pull them out. If it's a bigger area, keep in mind, we're really creative in our industry, so what do we call it? Winter grass killer. It's a...
You might pass that as winter grass.
No, winter grass is very small. I'll put my glasses on. Oh wow, that looks like sugar cane.
Yeah, it looks like that, but it's just...
Wow.
There is plenty of sugar cane up our way, mate. Are you
Yeah,
sure?
no, it's in the backyard.
Wow.
No, that's just what it looks like.
That's a problem.
And when you touch it, it's not prickly, but it's like sticky fur, yeah.
Sugar cane.
If it was sugar cane, I wouldn't be here. I'd be making millions off it.
Is it a legal crop? Okay.
If it was illegal, I'd be making millions.
Yeah, okay. All right, everyone happy with
If you turn up, can you mow, then do the herbicide?
oh, thank you, thank you. Now, this is really important. When to apply, folks, if we can stay together, this is really important. The question is, when can we apply it? Your herbicide. Do not apply if you've got rain expected. It's on the labels, it's on the instructions. Do not apply if you've got rain expected within 24 hours. Otherwise what? Wasted product. Do not apply 3 days before a mow or 3 days after a mow. It's in the instructions. When you're doing something specialised like this, read the instructions. Because if we make a mistake, it can be a big mistake, which can cost. So the 2 minutes to read the instructions, to get it right, is not hard.
I was told once that, yeah, fair enough, within 24 hours, but in actual fact, it's only as long as it takes for it to dry on the leaf, because in that time, that's where the leaf has absorbed it.
I'll subscribe to that a little bit, and I'm going to add to it. Who has heard of a product called a surfactant?
Yeah.
Okay, what a surfactant is It's an agent. An agent that you add to a chemical. So we might add it to our herbicide. It's like a wetting agent. What it does, it increases the stickiness of the chemical to the leaf, and it increases the uptake of it. So you're going to get a quicker kill and a more thorough kill by just adding a little bit of a surfactant. I've got a little bit of a handout on that later for you as well. Surfactants can be used with a variety of products that we use. Glyphosate, and we'll touch on that. Surfactants are fantastic. Be very careful if you use them that you use frog-friendly ones. I'm serious, because we've got to be responsible for the environment, and surfactants can be damaging for frogs.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
It sounds like a lot of visits to a property. So could you incorporate fertiliser and herbicide into one session? That way you're gloved up for chemicals, and that's what you're doing that day?
You actually could. You could feed and you could herbicide on the same day.
Right.
The only stipulation, what I would do is fertilise first, because we have to wet it.
Yeah. Right.
Gently wet it. And then I would apply the herbicide to it.
Yeah.
You could do it in the same day. Not necessarily.
Yeah, because you can't put the herbicide on.
And then
Do
wet.
the fertiliser and then hose in the fertiliser, yeah, because then you're washing off all of that.
Correct.
And then you'd use two different sprayers, I'm guessing, for your fertilisers and your herbicides.
Oh, thank you so much for raising that, Peter. I didn't get a chance to talk about my shop, which is my mobile shop. In my mobile shop, I've got 3 spray packs. Why do I have 3 spray packs?
Cross-contamination.
Okay, I could tell you stories that would make your hair stand on end if you're lucky enough to have hair still. Do not keep, if you can, keep 1 for glyphosate, 1 for herbicide, and a smaller one for incidentals, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides that you might wash out. If you ever need to change product in it, wash it out 3 times with water thoroughly, the whole system, or once with cloudy ammonia, or once with white king. Now don't worry if you didn't get that, I've got a note for you later.
Somebody mentioned Milwaukee before.
Good one, Peter, thanks.
They've got an electric pump one, and they've actually got it where the bottles are interchangeable. And
Clever.
although you may not go for that, one of the key things in it is that they're actually colour coded.
Yeah.
So rather than writing something on there, because you write something on, doesn't matter how good your pen is, 3 months down the track, did that say glyphosate? Or,
Yeah, spot on. Colour coding. It's like fuels. I could tell you stories about fuels being mixed up too. What colour, unleaded petrol, what colour fuel can you use? Diesel.
Yellow.
2-stroke.
Green.
Wonderful, you all pass. Make sure your employees understand that too. Spray packs, indelible ink, poison only, herbicide only, other. Or colour code them. Colour codes are great. Labels are great. Anything you can do to minimise potential things going wrong. Where things will go wrong is not with you, it's with your employees. And the stories. It's cost me thousands. Anyway, everyone happy with that? Good. Again, you've got to take responsibility for seeing that a job needs to be done and talking your customer through it so they know what they're going to get. Professional products, professionally applied, right rate of application, guaranteed kill, all of that thing. And in all honesty, we can make it, between now and Christmas, you can make yourselves heroes. We can do wonderful things with a little bit of product, a little bit of knowledge. We can transform lawns. It's so easy. Okay.
The application of the herbicide, that
Yep.
consider that being
Herbicides, oh, look, once a year is probably adequate during the growing time. But it's something that if you keep an eye on it. If you think it might benefit from it, suggest it. No harm in that. Righto. So we've fertilised and we've herbicided. Let's have a look at aerating. What's aerating?
Aerating is coring or spiking, it's getting oxygen into the roots there, getting rid of the compaction.
Okay, getting rid of compaction. Thank you. Why does grass need air? It's a living organism. Okay. Compaction. What causes compaction? Traffic mostly, yeah. So how do we core or aerate? What do we do? I love it. This is my, if an area is not too big, if it's not too big, use a pitchfork. It's a fantastic result. So how it goes, in, back. Make sure there's no irrigation underneath. I've done that before many times too. A little step forward, maybe 500 mil, in, back. Do the whole area. It works a treat. Doesn't take long for a small area, works a treat. What otherwise might we do it? Machine? Okay.
Isn't there those aerated rollers?
You can hire. Now, who knows where their local hire place is? You're going to use it a lot, okay? Because they've got stuff you don't have to buy. You can hire it. So they've got aerators or corers. The best ones to use, they're self-drive, self-propelled. They've got a drum and they've got metal spikes on them, and the metal spikes are hollow. So as you drive along, what's it doing? So you turn around and it looks like you've had 100 dogs following you. Okay? Little chihuahuas. Little chihuahua poos everywhere. Don't worry about that, it's easy to get rid of. If it's unsightly, just run your mower over it, that's fine. That's fantastic. That's if it's a big area, that's the best and only way I'd recommend to do it. Anyone seen those strap-on aerating shoes? Yeah. What do they do? What it actually does, think about it, a spike goes in, what happens to the soil around the spike? Compresses. Exactly. They're a laugh though, aren't they? You see people do that.
I've seen ads before, it says, many commercial lawn people will have these and it shows a guy wearing one uniform to it.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Maybe if it's a really steep,
Yeah,
it needs some grip to go.
that's it.
Anyone I ever know that's bought those ones from Bunnings, they're broken in about 3 steps.
Yeah.
Apart from anything else.
Yeah. Anyway, well, credit to you guys who picked up the pitchforking. That's the way to go.
You can actually get it looks like a pitchfork, but it's a core.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. And that's a manual one. Yeah, it's got the little tines, yeah.
So, the pitchfork, average lawn, you're doing it every 500, would you say every 500?
Yeah, about every 500, thereabouts. It's not a precise science. Yeah, and where you're really getting the air in is not those holes, because when you go down, you're going back, and you can almost hear the lawn going, you can feel the air going in and under. So you might tell me you're compressing when you're going in, but that's not what's doing the aerating. It's the leveraging back. It picks it up. It picks up this big piece. It might pick up a piece like that. Just lifts it gently. Doesn't look raised, but you can just feel it. So how long is that going to take me? I don't know. Doesn't take long.
So you do that before you know as well?
You can do that anytime. Well, there's nothing, it doesn't look like, you'll see little holes everywhere, but it doesn't look unsightly. It's not like with a corer, where you've had that 100, chihuahuas or Dalmatians behind you.
Is the levering it back, is that essential, or would it
No, it's the levering back is essential. That's what's doing the work. Look, I don't know, you've really got to do this to experience it. It goes in and back, and it's that back action. You can actually see it come up a little bit, and you can always hear it breathe. All that air's getting underneath. Anyway, you make a hero of yourself. Again, customers don't know that it's compacted. All lawns will get compacted over a fairly short period of time. They've got dogs, they've got people, cars, all sorts of things. If you can aerate, fertilise, herbicide, within probably this time of year, within 2 months, you've got a most magnificent looking lawn. It's wonderful. All right, let's chug along. Repairing. What would cause damage to a lawn? Leaves? Weeds. Yeah. All right, we've dealt with that, but I'm going to put it there. What is it with dogs? Is it digging? Urine. Yep, correct.
Also, the traps they run into as well.
And digging and compaction. Okay, weeds, what else?
Heavy traffic areas.
Yeah, I'll put compaction again, yep. I'm going to put scalping, because that's a good one. Shade, absolutely. It can burn. If it hasn't got water, it can burn, absolutely. You can have full sun, but you need water. That's fine.
Low-lying area with water source.
Okay, too much, too little water. Yep.
Too much fertiliser?
Yeah, burn, fertiliser burn, yep. Insects, funguses. I'll put diseases.
Not being mowed often enough.
Yeah, I'll put poor mowing practices, because there's a whole string of things that people can stuff up around that. That's pretty good. Anyway, that'll do for now, because I'm going to rattle along. We have a break in a couple of minutes, and I want to finish turf. There's a whole list of things that can go wrong with lawns and do go wrong with lawns all the time. What's our challenge? Identifying the problem. One, the fixing. I think we know pretty much how to fix a lawn now. Identifying the problem. And sometimes that'll have to be conversational with your customer. What's been going on here? And it could be a chemical burn because the painter's been here, and what do painters do? Wash their stuff out. Yeah. Yeah, chemical burns is a good one. Anyway, the discussion here is to have with your customer what's going on. Do your investigations, check compaction, check water. You're the expert. They're going to ask you what's wrong with my lawn. Sun, shade, water, all of those things. Okay, I skipped over that one a bit, but you get the gist of it. Look. Yeah, that'll be right. And with some animals, if you change their diet, that'll stop the burns, urine burns. Another alternative there is you could suggest to put Fluffy down.
Yeah.
No.
Just quickly, Des, on the dog urine burning, if you ask your customer if they feed them dry food, the kibble, just add equal amounts of water, just because then that makes it less acidic, the urine.
There you go.
There's also a product you can get called dog rocks from pet stores.
Yeah, dog rocks, yeah.
It goes into
The water, yeah.
and that stops urine burn. It's called dog rocks.
Dog rocks, R-O-C-K-S.
Store it right, you put it in their water bottle, and when they drink, I don't know what it does exactly, but it stops them burning the water.
Makes the urine more alkaline.
Does it work?
Yeah, it does.
Apparently. I
Yeah.
don't have the dog with my dog, so I don't use it, but apparently it works. Female.
Repair, we've done that. Detach, we've done that. Tell you what,
Regards to that, without going and buying the dog box,
Yeah.
is there something that you can apply to the lawn? with
No.
regards to the urine burn?
No.
It'll just grow out over time?
Yeah, it'll depending on the type of lawn, it'll probably self-repair over time. But if you don't address the systemic problem, which is the dog weeing, it's going to continue. Okay, let's have a short break. I want to come back and I want to do laying turf, and then we're going to move on to gardening. So let's say about, what do you reckon, 10-minute break? Is that okay? Okay. Anyone getting tired, or you're dealing all right with it? This is a long day. Not too hot, not too cold?